right, so listen, your first festival comedian here coming up to the stage. Put your hands together, give him a warm hand of a welcome for Joe Maranto.
Let's hear it for Jim and this beautiful club here. This is awesome. So nice. Thank you so much, Hanover. I'm so glad to be here, so it's fun. I come to you tonight from Warrenton, Virginia. Woo. All right. Now, I grew up in Springfield, Virginia, kind of a sketchy neighborhood. I used to live next door to a prostitute named Candy. It had its perks. Like when I knock on her door at Halloween and say, trick or treat, hell, we knew we couldn't lose. Either way, be getting some candy. See, I grew up in one of these families that we weren't pro-life or pro-choice. We were more like pro-Zach, I think it was. Definitely not your typical nuclear family. We were more like a nuclear disaster family. That's just call me Joey Chernobyl. That was I'm just glad my family never ended up on the Family Feud. Oh my God, the answers they would have given. They'd ask my dad, they said, name something you'll find at a breakfast table. He'd be like, da-da-da-da, scotch. They'd ask my mom, they said, name something you bring to a family gathering. She'd be like, da-da-da-da, conflict. Great answer, Helen, great, accurate answer. Now, the best answer would come from my cousin. They'd ask her, they'd say, name something you'd associate with a wedding. She'd be like, da-da-da-da, a shotgun. Of course, we know she'd say that. I remember the preacher at her wedding up there like, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today because of a positive reading on a home pregnancy test. To wed this couple because it's customary. I don't know. My mom drank so much vodka when I was a baby. Whenever she breastfed me, I was drinking White Russians. After I finished, I didn't know whether to burp or settle up my tab. It was tough growing up in Springfield. I got picked on a lot. I had buck teeth and an overbite. And my parents never got me braces. They used my teeth to open up their beer bottles. Oh, really ticked me off, especially when I found out they were twist-off caps. Anyway, don't worry, not all my family were heathens. I had an aunt who was a devout Catholic. In fact, she had a bumper sticker on the back of her car that said, all children are a gift from God. I used to tease her and say, if you're adopted, does that mean you've been re-gifted? She just looked at me and go, you're gonna burn in hell. Said, I can, I'm a gift from God. That makes me flame retardant. She just looked at me and go, oh, you're retardant, all right. No, I hate sports betting apps because they're always shaming their customers by showing ads for gambling addiction, you know? What are they going to do next? Have escort service apps showing ads for divorce lawyers? They got an app for everything out there. They have an app for casual sex. Back in my day, the only thing they had was a phone number and a bathroom wall. Today, they're swiping, we were wiping. Now I don't know. Technology is scary, though. I found this out the other day. Companies can now harvest your browsing data and use it to specifically target you with ads. I got an email the other day that says, we'll hook you up with sexy seniors in your area. I typed back, should you at least wait till they graduated high school first? That 17 to 18-year-old range is a little difficult to navigate. Hey, that was more fun than hitting the unsubscribe button, I'll tell you. No, it is scary out there. I hate those internet scammers who prey on the elderly. That's just sick. Like, my aunt got tricked into signing up for this thing called 33andMe. Now, she thought it was one of those 23andMe genetic testing sites. Now she's married to a polygamist. Not the 33andMe she was expecting. Now, don't get me wrong, technology is wonderful. Like when a child goes missing, what happens? They immediately send out one of those Amber Alerts, which is awesome. Back in my day, the best they could do was put your face on a milk carton. And they stopped doing that once they found out child predators were cutting them out and using them as trading cards. Oh my God, it was like Pokemon for pedophiles. I abducted you. Now see, I never had to worry about getting abducted when I was a kid. I was a latchkey kid. Us Gen Xers were tough, you know. Damn right, my parents never put up baby gates. Their philosophy was, let him tumble down the stairs and break his neck. He'll learn. It's true, nowadays kids ride around in car seats designed by NASCAR. I used to cry. Oh my God, I would crawl around on the front of my parents' car. They'd slam on the brakes. I'd face plant right into the dashboard's ashtray. end up on the floorboard unconscious with a Marlboro sticking out of my nose. God, are you kidding? My closest thing I came to a Chuck E. Cheese experience was a half-cooked pizza bagel and a set of lawn darts. Okay, that was... I think that's why my generation had such large families, because if one of us died from child neglect, they still had like 5 or 6 others they could choose from. That's why I don't get these, what are those gender reveal parties? Oh, don't get me wrong, they had gender reveal back in my day, except back then it usually involved a pervert and an overcoat. They didn't throw any party either, you threw them right in jail. See, that's the problem with the day. I think, parents, they parent a lot differently nowadays. They have this thing called gentle parenting, right? Where they rely on human emotions like understanding, feeling, connecting when disciplining their kids. Now, they did that in my day, because I understood the feel in my dad's belt when it connected with my ass, I'll tell you that. Gentle parenting also says you should have open communication when disciplining your kids. He did that too. He swung that belt on every word of the punishment. He'd scream at me, which really sucked because he was a stutterer. If I cursed during that spanking, my mom would put Tabasco sauce on my tongue. Oh, one time I went to school, my tongue was so numb from Tabasco sauce, my teacher thought I had a speech impediment. She wanted to send me down to go see the speech teacher. I'm like, I don't have a speech problem, you freaking bitch. She put Tabasco on my tongue too. But today, kids have no social interaction skills whatsoever. They would rather text a person than talk to them because they're afraid they might say something to make them look stupid. But yet, they have no problem lighting their farts and posting it on TikTok because that doesn't make them look stupid. And have no social filters either, you know? I had this kid come up to me in the mall the other day. He's like, God put dinosaur bones on this earth to test our faith. I looked down at him, I'm like, yeah, God put you on this earth to remind people to schedule their vasectomies. Guess I got no social filter either, you know? Of course not, I'm a grouchy old man. I have no social filters, you know? I realized I was old when I was at the store the other day and the checkout person says, I'll give you the senior discount. I'm like, how old do you have to be to get that? She's like, 60? I'm like, folks, I just turned 57 a few weeks ago. Then she asked me, would I like to round up my change to the nearest dollar for charity? I'm like, geez, lady, you're really into rounding up numbers today, aren't you? Now bag up my Metamucil and I'll get on my way. I'm serious, folks, I never thought I'd make it to 57. I'll tell you, seriously, neither did my family. I wake up every morning, got a mirror under my nose, check and see if I'm still breathing. They're like, put the life insurance back in the safe. He's still alive, you know. You young people out there, take care of yourselves, you know, because stuff starts breaking down on you. Like, I'll tell you right now, my teeth are so bad, even my dental implants have cavities. That's not good. True story, I got fat shamed at the dentist one time. She told me I had a beefy tongue. I was so embarrassed by what she said, I put my tongue on an exercise program. Hired the best lesbian trainer I could find. Not only is my tongue in great shape, but I'm wearing Birkenstocks and rocking out to the Indigo Girls. I don't know how that happened. No, you gotta be careful though when you get older. I actually had to stop drinking not too long. And it wasn't for health reasons or addiction or I was just doing dumb stuff like when I would get drunk. Like one time I was at this one restaurant, I was so drunk. On the way back from the bathroom, I told the owner she had a very progressive place because she had a bidet. She's like, sir, we don't have a bidet. But I had a pretty good idea who just defiled the water fountain. Most people get drunk, you hide their car keys. Me, you gotta hide my computer, because I'll get on social media and turn into an under the influencer, I will. And next morning I'm scrolling through posts like Steve Urkel going, did I post that? No, my family was so embarrassed by my social media posts, they wanted to put a breathalyzer lock on my computer. You know how embarrassing it is to show up to your neighbors the next day or the middle of the night asking if they wouldn't mind blowing on something for you? Kind of gives new meaning to that phrase, love thy neighbor, doesn't it? I had one of the most despised jobs in the federal government, folks. I used to be a government auditor. Yeah, see, exactly. Government employees hated us. We'd walk into their office, they'd yell out, proctologists are here. Like, why'd you say that? It's because you auditors are always up our ass. Which is kind of ironic because I ended up leaving my government job on account of a medical condition called rectal glaucoma. Yeah, I couldn't see dragging my ass into that office one more day. Church of Satire, you have been wonderful. You got a great show tonight. Thank you so much. My name is Joey Maranto.
Go for Joe!